Hello everyone, my name is Aamir Abbas and today I will talk to you people about the definition of epidemiology. This is the first session in a series of sessions on basic epidemiology. So we'll move forward towards the agenda of this session. In this short session, we'll start with talking about an analogy between epidemiology and journalism. Then we will talk about the definition of epidemiology. We'll go through some details on different aspects of definition of epidemiology that includes talking about distribution and determinants in a bit of detail. We will touch base on the role of epidemiology on the health of the population. Finally, we'll summarize our discussion. So, moving forward towards the analogy between journalism and epidemiology. The definition of epidemiology can be explained with an analogy which explains how health-related states are related to journalism, to the events in journalism. Students in journalism are taught that good news like a bank robbery, dramatic rescue, or presidential candidate speech must include five aspects. These five aspects can be explained with the help of five W's. The first W starts with what, which means that what was the story about. The second W is who is the main character, and subsequently where the event took place. When did the event took place, and finally how did the event when did the event take place, where did the event take place, with whom, who was involved in the event, and what was the event actually. So these five W's in journalism are important for completing a story. Moving forward and taking the same idea forward, these five W's are extremely important to make sure that a story in journalism is complete, and if any piece of this 5W is missing, then the story is considered to be incomplete. Now, relating the same idea of 5Ws with epidemiology, we can apply the same principles. So it's as simple as that. Like for any story, we apply 5Ws. For epidemiology, we use the same concepts, the same ideas, but we have different synonyms for them. For example, what is replaced by diagnosis or health event? Who is replaced by the person? When is replaced by the specific time? Why or how is replaced by the concept like cause, risk factors, or the mode of transmissions. So the basic idea remains the same, but the names for these 5Ws changes. Moving further, with this background in mind, we will go through the definition of epidemiology. We can say now here, epidemiology is the study of distribution and determinants of health-related states or events in a specified population, and the application of this study to control the health of to control health problems. Now, each and every word in this definition is extremely important, and we will dissect some words in this definition. Okay, so first of all, we talk about the distribution. Distribution is explained in terms of two words. One is frequency and other is pattern. Though they might seem very simple, but trust me, epidemiology is a deceptively simple science. So let's study what is meant by frequency and pattern in the context of distribution as it comes within the definition of epidemiology. Moving further, frequency within the distribution refers to the number of health-related events like cases of meningitis or diabetes in a population and relationship of that number to the size of the population. The point to emphasize over here is that the number in isolation without talking about the size of the population will not have a meaningful interpretation. The resulting rates allow epidemiologists to compare disease occurrence across different populations. Moving further about distribution, we will now talk about patterns. We'll talk about pattern of diseases in the context of distribution. Pattern reference to the occurrence of health-related events by time, place, and person. So what does that mean? Time patterns may be annual, seasonal, weekly, daily, hourly, weekend versus weekdays, or any other breakdown of time that may influence disease or any other health-related condition. In the same way, moving forward, and talking subsequently about the distribution, when we talk about place patterns include geographical variation that may include urban and rural, differences, or location of work sites or schools, etc. And when we talk about the personal characteristics, this is also has some implication from the perspective of distribution. Personal characteristics include demographic factors, which may be related to the risk of getting ill. That may include the age of the person, the gender of the person, the marital status of the person, the socioeconomic condition of the person, and other related behavior characteristics that may be related to the health of the person. Now, we'll conclude our discussion related to uh, distribution. Now we'll talk about determinants. Determinants include two types of factors. Some of these factors are called as the causal factors, and other factors will be called as the related factors. Determinants are any factors or event characteristics or any other definable entity that bring about a change in the health condition or of a person or population. Moving further, now we have used the word disease, but we can also use the word health related event. So originally epidemiology was focused exclusively on epidemics of communicable disease like cholera. Subsequently, the scope of epidemiology has been extended from communicable diseases to non-communicable diseases. So, moving forward, health-related events can be conditions like injuries, birth defects, maternal child health, occupational health. Epidemiologists began to look at behaviors related to health and well-being, such as amount of exercise and seat belt use. Indeed, the term health-related states or events may be seen as anything that affects the well-being of the population. Okay. So here comes an important difference between clinician and epidemiologist. The clinician is concerned about the health of an individual. The epidemiologist is concerned about the collective health of the people in a community. So epidemiologists basically focus on the public health. So clinician usually focuses on treating and caring for the individual, and epidemiologist is concerned on focusing on identifying the exposure or source that caused the illness, the number of other person who may have been similarly exposed, or the potential for further spread in the community, and interventions to prevent additional cases from occurring. Now, talking about the application of epidemiology, epidemiology is not the study of health in a population. It also involves applying the knowledge gained by the studies to community-based practices. Epidemiologists use scientific methods, a descriptive and analytical epidemiological, as well as experience and epidemiological judgment and understanding of local conditions in diagnosing the health of a community and proposing an appropriate practical and acceptable public health interventions to control the spread and prevent the disease in the community. That's all for the definition of epidemiology. And in summary, epidemiology is the study of the distribution and determinants of health-related states and events and in specified population, and the application of this study to control the health of the population. This is the reference which I used to prepare this talk. I will put that into the description. Feel free to see that. It's a very useful research from CDC. Take care.